Okay, today's video is gonna be very weird because of this light, so bear with me. I can't control the color of this light. Not in my room. But anyways, the title of this video is gonna throw a lot of people off. And in your business, in the start, you do not want to do something that is scalable. And I just learned this from the Diary of a CEO host, right? Stephen Bernard, I think. I don't know his last name, but I digress. What I learned is, like I just said, don't start with something scalable. A lot of times we look at Amazon, we look at Apple, we look at all these kind of places, and they do something. Let's say like cold calling. Let's say they started by themselves, and then slowly they automated it, right? Great. There's nothing wrong with cold calling or doing cold outreach, and that's completely fine, right? That's a very scalable thing. But when you're starting out by yourself, that's like, for me, like I'm doing cold outreach because my Arabic is not the best, so it's just through text, so I can translate and all that kind of stuff. And I send voice notes in Arabic if they respond, all that kind of stuff. But when I was also doing it myself, all of those things were scalable, right? To a certain degree, like they're very scalable. And, you know, I signed a couple people. I did door to door, right? And I didn't know why I didn't think of this sooner. But let me give you a couple examples before I tell you what it is. The owner and founder of Airbnb, when he originally started, there was only a couple of people using the website, because at the time it was just a website, on the computers, and it was in the same city. And obviously he has a location because everyone's putting their location, right? And no one was like booking these houses, right? For a couple of days or whatever. No one. And the pictures looked horrible. They looked horrible. They looked insanely bad. And what he did was he went to every single one of the houses that were listed, damn near, and he looked at the house and like, damn, these houses look amazing. Like, why are people not coming in? Like, why do the pictures look so bad? And what ended up turning out was people just didn't have good camera quality. They didn't know how to take good pictures. Nothing at all. And what he ended up doing, he went back to the office. Long story short, he got good cameras, went to every single house and took pictures for them so people could start booking. That is not scalable. For a billion people, billion different places where people do Airbnbs all over the world, you can't scale that, right? And that's what it means. Here's another example, and I'll get to the cold calling one. Steve Jobs did it. Facebook did it in different ways. But or the owners of Stripe. I'll give you this example one more, and I'll get to the point. Stripe originally, when they first started, like right now, you can make your account, put the Stripe in, whatever it is, and boom, you send it out, right? And or you send it to the client. They sign up, right? What they ended up doing was every client that signed up, they would go to their headquarters or offices and manually put it in their computers because it was like a software or something like that. That is not scalable. You can't do that to billions of people. They're $100 billion company, I believe. You can't do that. That doesn't make no sense. And here's what I think I'm gonna start doing. My Arabic is not the best, but it's decent enough while I'm here. And it's gonna get better as I, progress. One thing I realized doing cold calling door to door is I made way more sales than I did door to door than I did cold calling. Doesn't mean that cold calling doesn't work. It's also like some people are better at it, one thing than another, whatever it is, right? Like cold calling is not bad. But what I am realizing now, people can easily put their phone down and not check a text message, say they don't want anything, and hop on a call and close the phone as quickly as possible. It's a lot easier. But what's not easier is closing the door on somebody's face. That is one of the hardest things to do. It happens, and it's happened to me plenty of times. That rejection has happened. Cold calling, the rejection, all happened to me. But the one thing that I realized through all of them is if I go with just me speaking, it's 10 times better, right? And this is what it means to do something that's not scalable. When it comes to Stripe, they're not gonna go to every other business and install it install the software into the computer. That's not scalable. Airbnb is not going to go to every single customer that they have to start with and take pictures for them. Not scalable, right? But once you get big enough, once you get better, and people start to become better, things become easier for you. Now, what I'm thinking is I'll still do my outreach, but while I'm driving or out and about and seeing these clinics and salons and whatever it is, I'm gonna go to them and I'm just gonna talk to them. Okay, I'll search them up right then and there. Look at their Instagram, look at their everything. Be like, you guys are doing amazing all this, but you're slacking in this. And pull out my computer and be like, this is what I do. And before then, I'm gonna come up with prices. I'm gonna come up with everything so that I come prepared. And I think that's 10 times better than just sitting for 30 minutes in my day, or if I did a lot more, if I did 100 times reaching out to people with not the best of, like, what's the best strategies to reach out to them. Like, I know a decent amount, but it's better to go there, right? And it's like, that's what it means to start doing something that's not scalable. And that's what I'm gonna title this video is, you're failing your business if you're doing something, if you're starting with something that's not scalable. Or something like that, I don't know, you'll see it. But it's like, I don't think, that's not the only way. You can do the cold calling, you could do the cold outreach, and if you're really good at it and it works, bam, great. But I think the most efficient thing is getting rejected 5 times in a day and signing 1 client, let's say, than reaching out to 100 people in a day, or 50 people in a day, 25 people a day, and no one responds, or no one gets to you, right? That's obviously more people. But I think I realized even when I did door-to-door, like, I've made 4 sales, like, one door, or boom, 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 boom. And it's like, that's the easiest thing to do. That's the best thing to do, because if you have all the right things to say, and all the right equipment, all the right everything, or the right idea, it's a lot easier to sell in person with proof to show for it, and not just send through messages, right? And that's kind of the goal, and that's kind of what I'm thinking of doing more. So that's what it is to me, to start something that's not scalable and then work great. Because think about it, let's say I get a couple of clients, I get word of mouth, bam, great. Now I'll go hire someone who knows how to do cold calling, whatever, and add that to the list. Right? Or I can even keep doing that, and once it's big enough, I start cold calling, right? Because now I'm making enough money, I'll just start cold calling, or cold outreach, or whatever it is, or I'll someone to a specialist, and then that process gets automated over and over again. So that's something I've been thinking about, and I think after watching this video today, it just kind of opened my mind, where I think I should take my skills of selling in person. I'm not the best sales guy ever, but I know I can really become like an insane killer at it if I had the right training, and like just doing more and more trial and error with myself now that I have a lot better mindset than I did back then. So I'm gonna update you guys on this as time goes on, but I wanted to leave you with that, because I think a lot of the stuff that the generic stuff to do is not working, you know? Like, there's this guy, his name, I think is Julian or Julius something, and he's the cold calling guy that sells life insurance. He's insane at it, and he shows his faults and he shows his wins, and not every time you win and not every time you're gonna lose, but just keep doing it, and that's it. Like I said, it works, and he's hired guys to do it for him as well. But I just want people to know that there's multiple ways, and sometimes you don't have to do what everyone's doing. Like a long time ago, that's what people did. They knocked on doors. They went to people. Now you can do it through your phone, and there's nothing wrong with that. But maybe you don't know how to do it. Maybe that's not something that you got to start out with for you and your journey. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about more and more, because when I think about it, even when I did my same thing in the US, the websites, all I used was word of mouth for the most part, because I helped a couple of friends with their own, they refer me to people, and then those people knew people who had businesses and restaurants and all kind of stuff. Just help them do that. So it's kind of what I'm thinking. But since I'm pivoting to something completely different, that's not like a restaurant where it's like a menu would come in here. It's more of like a booking thing and a different aesthetic. It's like completely new, and my goal was not to show what I've done in the past, because salon stuff is not gonna resonate, or clinic stuff, with food menus. And that way, I guess like it kind of can relate to like different pages and whatnot. But I don't know. Anyways, I don't want to bite you guys' ear off. The goal is to make these videos short, but that's the moral of today's video, or the point is start something that's not scalable, and then later on scale it. Find ways to scale it in different ways. Like I said, you can't knock on doors forever, right? If you're a door-to-door salesman, that's completely different. For what I'm doing, where I'm making websites for these people, I can't do this for a long time, right? I can even go to people who do that for me, right? Or run ads, something like that, right? So that's just kind of all it is. I'm gonna leave it at that. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, and do what works best for you. Love.